We've been told that our world is warming up due to human activities. The risks are high and the time is running out for us to save the planet. The target is to limit the surface temperature to below 2 degrees Celsius. But there are serious questions about whether policymakers can keep temperature rise below the limit and what happens if they don't. Put a price on carbon is a common answer as discussions of how to address climate change move from concern to action. What is this about and how does it affect you? Some of the questions begging for answers. Today on the program, we'll try to break it all down. Welcome to Earth File. I'm Ayola Kasim.
Scientists have confirmed that climate change is real, human-caused, a danger today as ocean acidification, extreme weather, and change of climate patterns, and a profound danger for tomorrow with rising sea levels, abrupt climate change, and potential positive feedbacks that could lead to runaway warming.
We've seen climate change as an issue, loss of biodiversity, and all of these issues. So the question we raise, and which is quite relevant for Africa and for the whole of humanity, is how do we continue to maintain progress in a sustainable way? And when you look into the whole areas, I think what's really critical is the fact that when you bring all these forces together, the impact they have on our health and well-being is enormous. So it's not just that climate change, for instance, you look at the links with nutrition and health, you think that increases in temperature will make certain diseases like malaria be evident in some places, but more importantly, its effect on nutrition through food production and the quantity and quality of food that we produce is enormous. Or its impact in increasing molds or aflatoxin in grains that leads to wastage, or more importantly, to cancer when we consume such food. It's there. So when we bring these forces together, then they have huge implications for us as humanity. So how do we move forward within that context?
A full carbon price on greenhouse gas pollution is required to stop the pollution that is killing the biosphere and threatening humanity.
Yo diría que sobre esto hay que interesar a las Naciones Unidas.
Pope Francis, in his 2015 encyclical letter Laudato Si, demands that a fully borne carbon price be placed on greenhouse gas pollution in order to prevent millions of premature deaths. According to the International Energy Agency, in sub-Saharan Africa, over 80% or nearly 728 million people depend on solid fuels such as charcoal and firewood for cooking, more than any other region in the world. The IEA estimates that by 2030, 1 billion people in sub-Saharan Africa will depend on biomass as their main energy source. Open fires and traditional cook stoves produce incomplete combustion of fossil fuel, causing high black carbon emissions. They also have low combustion efficiency, which leads to longer cooking time and increased fuel use. Every day, around 3 billion people cook food and heat their homes using solid fuels like firewood and charcoal in traditional cook stoves or open fires. The impact is that 4.3 million of them die prematurely annually. This is caused by exposure to smoke. Women and girls in particular face health, safety, and economic risks. Forests are depleted and the environment is degraded. 21% of global black carbon emissions are also attributed to smoke from cook stoves.
On average, the situation has deteriorated and increased the levels of air pollution by 8%. So the situation is getting worse. And we know that 80% of the urban population living in cities where we collect data on air pollution are exposed to very high levels of air pollution and therefore resulting on diseases. We have a terrible figure. WHO has estimated that 7 million deaths occur annually. Premature deaths are occurring every year that are caused by exposure to air pollution, and this is obviously a major public health problem, and that's why we need to raise awareness, we need to increase, and the measures that are taken, and countries need to move on monitoring air quality, but monitoring air quality for essentially taking action and therefore reducing the very negative impact on the health of the people.
Renewable energy has been sold as the energy source of the future for sustainable development.
The fact that people went through a particular route of development, does not mean that we must go through exactly the same route. We should actually take a better route. You understand? We should take a better route. If the better route, what we should look at is what is good for us. If it is good for us to go exactly the same way they went, yes, so be it. That's the way we should go. If it is, however, better for us to take a different and improved route, why abandon that? That's the issue. It took them 20, 50, 100 years to do certain things. We don't have to go that route. We may be able to do it in 5 years. In doing their own, they created lots of problems, We don't have to create those problems. We cannot say that, yes, this country developed through the labors of slaves and things like that. So in order for us to develop, we need to enslave some people, so that we can get to where they got to because of slave labor. We can't do such things. So, we must take on the improved systems. That's really what I'm saying. And I think it's retrogressive to say this is the only way to succeed. No. You don't have to say that you can only develop by destroying other things. We can get into sustainable development, approaches. We can use sustainable development approaches to achieve whatever we want to achieve.
The Carbon Credit Network is the Africa's first carbon trading platform to remove the barriers to widespread and adoption of renewable energies, clean technologies, and wealth creation patterned after the United Nations Kyoto Protocol carbon finance mechanism. It is a massive network of individuals whose collective actions would contribute a remarkable offset in the quantity of carbon and greenhouse gases being emitted to the environment.
We gather people together to advise them that they stop killing themselves. We have so many diseases in town right now caused by the use of the fossil fuel. We always advise them to stop using kerosene. Let them use biogel that will emit only oxygen and water that they need themselves. So my advice to them is to stop, not because of themselves only, but because of their own families. Yes, the effect it will have on everybody. Some will even back their children and be cooking with either stove or firewood, causing problem for the little child, the innocent child. So I always advise them to stop using the kerosene, the use of charcoal, the use of firewood to prepare food.
But it was not until 2003 that the Nigerian government approved renewable energy as part of its national energy policy. This policy is hinged on private sector development of the energy sector. The key elements in the national policy position on the development and application of renewable energy and its technologies are to develop, promote, and harness the renewable energy resources of the country and incorporate all viable ones into the national energy mix, to promote decentralized energy supply, especially in rural areas based on renewable resources, to de-emphasize and discourage the use of wood as fuel, to promote efficient methods in the use of biomass energy resources, and to keep abreast of international developments in renewable energy technologies and applications.